Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. So I've been gone for the last 7-8 days. And there's been a lot. There's been a lot that's just been going on. So there's a lot to unpack. This is going to be a very different video for what I normally make. It's going to be unedited. I'm just going to one take it, one zip it. And if you guys are interested in catching up on the story and the things that we've been going through, then definitely take a listen. It's quite crazy. But before we get into the bag of shit, let's just catch up to the very beginning of where we first left off. You know, when I met my wife, you know, she got pregnant, and we both had to move out of where we were living, and we moved into this particular place that we're going to talk about. You know, it wasn't great. It wasn't even clean. They didn't even clean it. It was actually disgusting. But we saw potential, so we cleaned it up. We fixed it up. We actually literally put thousands of dollars into making this place our home, repainting things, rebuilding things, lots of stuff like that, taking up old disgusting wallpaper, but we made it our home, right? The problem was our landlord never fixed anything, but like, no biggie. Like, I was willing to do it given the fact that we had a nice new place to call home. It was perfect for us. We built our daughter's nursery there. We brought her into the world, and we brought her back to this place. So we made our home. So now you know, that's where we were living. 2 years goes by, 2 years go by, and now we're 7 days, 8 days prior from today. And, you know, our landlord, around that time, our landlord starts doing some really fishy shit when it came to talking to us. He was talking to us and trying to improperly raise our rent, not the legal way. He was verbally telling us that we had to leave without giving us paperwork, to which, like, we knew our rights. So we said, no fucking way, like, you're doing this the right way. And until then, like, we're living here, but we knew that there was a fire starting to be lit underneath our ass around this time. And do note, we had neighbors that lived upstairs that I guess we were like friendly-ish with, but eventually they left because they were more likely sick of dealing with a landlord that was penny pinching them around this time. So lo and behold, time goes by. He eventually actually gave us a proper eviction notice for the proper reasons. Now, what was the reason he was evicting us for? Well, we paid our rent early. We fixed the place up. We were never late on our bills. No noise complaints, no damage, cops, like nothing. Like we were good tenants. He was evicting us for demolition. And even after talking with other people in like the real estate market, they were saying like typically landlords who evict people for demolition, like that's a very, very small percentage chance of happening. So we looked up the paperwork that he needs to give us because it's a particular type of paperwork, and he gave us all of it. He gave us all the permits. He gave us all the paperwork and everything and beyond. So it very much looked and seemed very legit. He was going to destroy the house. This was the first time that myself and my wife have ever had to deal with. But when you get this eviction notice for demolition, you have 4 months to leave the place. So typically, if you get an eviction notice, usually it's like 15 days or 30 days. If it's demolition, you get 4 months to leave, find a place. And that is like, you know, that's good breathing room for us. And there's other details to follow after that. But the most important thing that you guys need to know is that you get 4 months notice for eviction notice under the category of demolition. Okay. So already it was a huge red flag for us already, with the landlord saying, you know, move out early or I'm going to have to move someone into the upstairs suite to just make up for the time lost. And we already knew he was just trying to be as absolutely fucking cheap as possible. And it's like, I said to him, bro, that's not my fucking problem. And I said that to him word for word. You know, but now we're stressing, but we have 4 months to find a place. You know, meanwhile, my wife is on maternity leave, and she goes back to work in a month from this time. So that was actually a bigger stress for us than, you know, not knowing where we would go over my wife going back to work and, you know, last minute having to find daycare. We don't know how far she's going to be driving from the potential new place, right? This was a more stressful thing for us than anything, because now we're being really particular on what we need to find because she works at a certain place. We don't want to go far for daycare. So it's like, but you know, we got 4 months time. Anyways, moving on. My wife starts looking around for places, and you know, if you guys have ever looked for a place in the advertising market, especially for places, there are scams. And, you know, she finds this particular place that just seemed way too good to be true. Seemed way too good to be true. It legit seemed like an actual scam. We thought they were going to say, pay us some money and we'll give you the key to go check it out. The fucking owner is in Dubai, but he's going to be back in 2 months' time, but he wants to rent it as soon as possible. And I'm just a third-party friend who knows them from way back when. No, nothing like that. But the interaction with in this particular ad was normal. It just seemed genuine. And like everything leading up to viewing the suite just seemed like a very normal reaction. So, you know, we just made sure to step carefully when approaching this place, but lo and behold, it was actually real, and it was a perfect home for us. And what seemed way too good to be true was actually true. And we found a place to go to that was just built, so we would be the first ones to move in. We told our new landlord, our situation with the demolition and how we have all the time in the world, but we're more eager to move out ASAP. And lo and behold, we were approved for the place, and we were able to move in a month from then. Okay, sweet, perfect. Things are actually lining up, and there's just so much stress off of our shoulders. Until 4 days after receiving our eviction notice for demolition, something horrible happened. We lived in the basement suite, and the basement suite flooded. Not with water, not with lava, not with streamer girl bath water. The basement suite flooded with sewage. With fucking sewage. Human poo-poo. And oh my God, the fucking smell. I would have rather worn a homeless person's butthole as a mask for the rest of the year than spend 10 more minutes in the suite smelling like what it smelled like. And we panicked as sewage overflowed into certain rooms in our suite and mostly flooded into our daughter's play area, bedroom, parts of our living room, and my office where all my computer shit is. So now we're back to panic mode. It's like, now we have to leave. We have to go. And I immediately called the landlord. Bear in mind, when the sewage started flooding, it was like first thing in the fucking morning. It was like 7:30, 8 in the morning, maybe. I'd have to look back at my phone on when I called him. But the first thing I did was call him to help us deal with this. And like, I shit you not, this motherfucker shows up 9 to 10 fucking hours later to spend 10 minutes turning off the water and the heat. The heat we didn't have control of in our suite, but we didn't mind that. We would just use some space heaters if it ever got cold or anything like that. We weren't stressing over that. But the heat on this particular day was just on and blaring, and it was just making everything so much worse. It's like smelling a smell that makes your body naturally gag without you having a say in it, and we were living in that. It was fucking awful. So now we have no water, we have no heat, we just paid fucking rent because it's the first of the month, and we cannot live where we lived. So we reach out to our new landlord, and without even having to pay rent or a deposit, they said, move your stuff in. You can't live like that. We're baffled. They were so accommodating, but we wasted no time taking them up on that offer. So the great move began, and last minute packing with no consideration of delicates and getting things out the door as fast as humanly possible was even taken into consideration. But now we have one last problem. Our old landlord. We just paid him rent. He owes us all of our deposits. And I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of legal stuff or whatever from the phone calls we made talking to tenancy board, but I'm just going to tell you this much. We met up with the guy in person and asked him. I asked him while he stood in my fucking house, does this place look livable to you? Do you think we can safely live in this home? To which he responded, no. Okay, sweet. We came to an agreement. We felt it was more than fair to get our month's rent refunded back to us so we could pay for our new place as well as all of our deposits. And I kid you not, the amount that he owed us for our rent and our deposits was on the penny for our new place. It would be a perfect transition. This fucker agreed to pay us back the next day and never did. We met up and this was in person. We met up the following day in person. Pay us back. He said, okay. And again, the following day, met up in person. Never paid us. It took almost 4 days of meeting up with this guy, being told tomorrow I'll pay you, until we met up for the last time. And this fucker on the 4th day said he wants to lawyer up. I went red. I went fucking red. I went full gorilla verbally on him. And I don't regret anything that I said. I was kind at first, but then I just turned into an absolute mega Karen. We weren't being treated like people, and he did not care where the fuck we went. He didn't give a fuck if we did or didn't get our money back. And I was about to get on the phone with police until, of all people, a random neighbor comes out to talk to him. And they heard me yelling at him in full detail of what we were dealing with. So basically the whole fucking neighborhood got caught up on our story that particular day when I yelled at him. And I'm not sure what they said to him, but it was enough. It was enough to get our money back. He said he would actually send it that day. And he actually did. As soon as I saw that fucking email, we were driving to go get some food. I immediately pulled over and I accepted it. I was giving him zero fucking chance to cancel that transaction. That was not going to happen. So now we have a place to move. We're being forced to move. The landlord actually gave us our fucking money back. And like, things are starting to look good, right? And we all get sicker than a fucking stray dog. We all got stomach infections, uncontrollably shitting and puking all fucking day. And the only reasoning for us being sick to our best discretion was because of all of that disgusting sewage that spilled into our old place. My wife is on maternity leave. I work from home. We don't go out. The only other people we interacted with was my wife's parents, because during all of the sewage flooding, we had no fucking place to live for like 2 days. So we had one night we spent at their house. One night we spent at their house. And that was like us going in and going to bed and leaving. Like, so the only interaction we could have had was with those people, and like they weren't sick. So what the fuck, how else could we have gotten sick? But anyways, but now here we are. Only a few boxes left to unpack, and we can finally start growing into our new home again. I've been gone for almost about 8 days now, and that's what we've been up to. It was honestly a super shitty experience, but you know what? As chaotic as it was, we are tremendously grateful for the place that we've moved into, and for the landlords that we are now working with, because they're being nothing but accommodating to us, transparent with us, talking to us, and like whenever there's just something that happens, like they talk to us, and like that's the relationship we want. But you know, now I'm back, and to save myself the stress of repeating this rabbit hole lore of a story, I'm just making this video to catch you guys up on instead, in case if that matters to you. If you guys have made it to the very end of the story, hope it was worthwhile listening to. We're good now, so no stresses at all, whatever. But videos will continue to come out, and I'm going to be continuing to stream again. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys again. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this long-told tale. I can't wait to see you guys. So anyways, thanks for listening, and we'll talk soon.